I think I still need to adjust the sound of that when it transfers over to just the coffee dink thing. Anyway, not important. Welcome back, this is Jack. Oh, heads up. I got a friend coming over. He's going to be assembling a mini. He's not going to be in the stream or anything. It's just that I've got workspace for him, and he wanted to be able to use it to like assemble minis and stuff, and I said, yeah, sure, go for it. So when I hear a knock at the door, when I get his message on Discord, I'll go to a quick break, no matter where I'm at, and I'll go get it. So just a minute on that. I might have to actually walk outside to go get him because, assuming he remembers where my apartment is. He's been here a couple times, but I've got broken memory. I don't assume anybody else's memory works, so let's get rolling. Let's see here. Okay, make sure my mouse is on the right computer. All right, so this week in anime. This week in anime. Let me put on the hat. Putting on the hat, putting on the hat, putting on the hat. Because also, I just don't like the way my hair looks. It was really hot though, so. All right, this week in anime. All right. This time I actually have the anime pages pulled up on Crunchyroll, so because there are some that I follow but I haven't watched in a while because I'm letting them get ahead. Jobless Reincarnation is one of them, and the one thing I do got to bring up about this, I didn't talk about it last week, but I'm going to talk about it this week. I think that anyway, my time frame is weird. They delayed the release of an episode to make sure that a major character's death happened on Father's Day. Fuck you. I think that's hilarious, but that's another thing. Like, I haven't seen the episode because I actually know what happens, because I've actually read part of the manga, and I know about that happening. So I was like, yeah, I kind of want to I don't want to be watching that episode by episode. I want to wait for, like, the arc to finish and then watch it. But anyway, so we're going to start with this one. This is the last one I watched. We're probably going to be talking about these in reverse order. I don't know why I keep trying to give this one a chance. I don't know why. I really don't. This is like a worse written SAO. At no point, so like I've said this before, at no point does this character feel like he's in any danger or any threat. At no point. And the few times he doesn't insta-kill things is because he has to hold back for some reason or another. Because, oh no, a person who doesn't know his secret might see how powerful he is. Okay. Cool. Like one example in this episode that just came up, there's this like ice griffin thing, and it's a unique one in the fact that it will constantly resurrect until a certain it's a normal DM boss dungeon thing where like you don't kill the creature, you got to do something else, then kill the creature. Okay. So anyway, he's fighting it with the princess, the girl in the very back with the big ass sword, and like between the two of them, when he's like got all of his inhibitors on, he's like like he's able to keep up with it, but it's still difficult. And then as soon as he sends her away to like open the gate, which is what's keeping it that thing from keeps it summoning, he removes the his limiters and kills it 30 times in a couple seconds. Like it's nothing to him. It's like, okay, so what's the threat here? Your secret being revealed? Okay. Like, and not to mention, I think some of the animation, like this is priceless coming from me, is because I'm learning to draw, but it also I'm becoming more aware of like things that I wouldn't have before, like perspective and stuff like that. I'm actually able to put it into words. And there's some of the animation that, like, it makes me feel like third season of Seven Deadly Sins. Because, like, there was one scene where they were running up a hill, and instead of distorting them running up the hill, it just do. And, like, if you actually watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now that I've said, look at the perspective of how they draw things, you're like, oh, yeah, they didn't care about perspective at all. And for those who don't know what perspective is, so if I'm looking dead on something, my face should be roughly proportioned because it's equally balanced. But if I turn my head, this eye should be what's called foreshortened, so you only see a portion of it. And so in an anime, it's not always consistent. Sometimes they'll like for artistic reasons, they sometimes will have the eye go further out than it should, so you can see their emotion better. Or they'll have the hair go over the eye, but you still see the eye. That's an anime thing. But with this one, it's not even that. It's not even that. They look like they stretched the face out. Like they drew the character initially, and then they're using Photoshop to use the distort feature on there to do it. And which, if you know what to do, you can actually use that very effectively. But that's not what. Yeah. Anyway, that's. So, I don't hate the anime. It just annoys the ever-loving hell out of me because it's the worst kind of power trip fantasy, where there's not even a logical reason why they're under any threat. Like with at least Sao, he wasn't like he got to break the rules of everything, which made him the broken character he is. With this one, he's just already the most powerful character, and now just nothing's a threat except for what he makes a threat for himself. So it's kind of stupid. It would be, imagine if like you took Beerus and brought him all the way back to Dragon Ball and made him the main character. Like, okay, wait, why is he having trouble with the Red Ribbon Army? What? Like, that's what it feels like. But yeah, that's the episode. It's just another episode of why is Shin not using his full power? Oh, and it ends with like this giant undead army they stumble across, and it's like, okay, how's that a threat? We've seen him take out an undead army in like 2 hits. Okay. Kaiju number 8. All right, we knew this episode was coming. Now, something that was odd about this is, as you guys can see down here, they always almost release dub and sub simultaneously. This is the first time they've only released subbed at once. And, which is not a big deal. Usually, like, when they release both at the same time, I'll try to watch both back to back so I can get a feel of how the dub versus sub works out. This one I wasn't able to, unfortunately. But for those who don't know, they do a really good job. Both the dub and sub in here has a lot of emotion. They do a really good job. Hang on a second. Make sure it's not my friend asking me my question. Nope, it is my older sibling. Alright. So, the last episode, Hibiki, this guy right here, Kaiju number 8, got revealed to be Kaiju number 8. He had to transform to save everybody else's life. And it ends with everybody pointing their guns at him, saying you need to surrender. Well, he's already been in custody for a little bit. And he gets turned over to Central. And as he's being carted away, he steps out of formation and says that we believe you'll return to us. And then when he's locked in there, she says, we're trying to get you back. We're on your side. And pretty much you just see a lot of the other characters doing what they can to try and protect him. Her talking to her dad, who you find out is probably regarded as one of the most badass kaiju hunters ever. He uses the Kaiju number 2's gauntlets. Gauntlets made from Kaiju number 2. And you find out why he's called that. Even after retirement, he's still insanely dangerous. But it sets it up that he might not always be in control right now. Because it seems like Hibiki got knocked unconscious, so the Kaiju side of him is in control. That's what it ends with. The one thing, so the animation is great. The storytelling is great. With this one asterisk. They cut to cliffhanger so fucking hard. It annoys the hell out of me. Like, it feels like nothing happened in the story. Like, I just told you everything, and it feels like nothing happened. It feels like, if it wasn't, like, overly dramatic, put on pants, overly dramatic, pull shirt out of drawer, cut to commercial before you see, or cut to next episode before you see what the shirt was. Like, if you're not already invested in this is definitely an anime I would say wait until it's fully out before you watch, just because of, like, how often they cut between, they cut to cliffhanger, and it's just so annoying. It is so annoying. But it's really good. Did enjoy it. Great animation, great music, great everything. If you're not already watching Kaiju number 8, I'd wait for it to fully come out, then watch it, just because of the way they do cut to cliffhangers. Reincarnated as a slime. For most people, this will be a do not watch right now, because you're going to want to wait for the season or the arc to finish, because it's another series of meetings. I think it's supposed to be like the next 8 episodes are going to be nothing but meetings. I'm not joking. Because right now they just got done dealing with the church, and now they're having a festival to, like, you know, celebrate to the world and say, hey, we are a city of monsters. Come visit us. Come have fun. And I believe Rimuru, this person right here, is officially going to announce, no, I am a demon lord. I am fully a demon lord, and use that as a way to protect everybody. But it's really good. I actually love the meeting episodes. Like, nothing really happens. I get that, but it is such world building. Now, yes, you can do world building a lot faster. Like Moonlight Fantasy does a much better job of it, where like the balance between meeting episodes and combat and like aggressive episodes, however you want to phrase it, the balance is much better. Um, but overall, I do really like slime. Now, I do want to bring this up. This is a slightly different topic, but not really. This is on my wish list. Glad I pulled away from letting y'all. What the hell? Why am I signed out? Okay. He said I was signed out of Steam. I'm like, I never signed out of Steam. I wanted to talk about this. Hang on, that's my friend. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so this is what I wanted to talk about. So there's a that time I got reincarnated as a slime Isekai Chronicles, and when I initially heard it, I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. You know, hey, it's that time I got reincarnated as a slime game. It has a lot of potential. All right, so the game's going for $50, $70 if you want the digital deluxe edition. This might just be the old man in me, and this might be like my I am a gamer kind of mentality, but I don't feel a side-scroller game that a game like this should run for $50. Like, I think you're paying $40 because it has the name That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Because I can 100% imagine a fan-made game that is of this quality, if not better. Like, it's got a city builder side to it, and it's got a side scroller where you're like jumping through and fighting monsters. Mind you, it does have its own unique story also tied to it. And if you do the pre-purchase offer, which for a single player game, you should not have a unique special currency. You get DLC 1, DLC 2, DLC 3 if you get to Digital Deluxe. And then Season Pass bonus content, bonus side quest collection, Remembering Shizu. Which I'm gonna guess is like during the part where she's dead. And you're like, oh, hey, everybody's favorite character is dead. So let's see here, you have the Goblin's Revenge, let's see here. Okay, so these are some of the unique stories that come up. But yeah, this is what the gameplay looks like. And like, they could have done something bigger. They could have, like, for charging that much money. But yeah, that's just not worth it to me. I just wanted to bring that up. Oh, in case anybody wants to know, the Dragon Age games are like 90% off right now. So if you're wanting to get them, you can get them for like $5. So definitely good games. All right, this will be a quick one. The Irregular at Magic High School. Here's my quick explanation for what happened. We get to see the main character as a major badass and took out a bunch of like traditional magic users. That sums it up. Oh, and he got a lead on where the person he's looking for is. That sums up the whole episode. Like, unfortunately, like, I do like this show. It has a lot of cool concepts of like modern, like if like magic was real, and then like you have the traditional like chanting Automata Pimiho to summon things, and then you have like how it became digitized and all that stuff. It's really cool concepts. And this show does have its own problems, specifically the relationship between the two main characters, the brother and sisters, who are literally in love with each other. Really creepy Japanese shit. Anyway, sorry. And they make up some bullshit reason for it, but whatever. Not going to get into that rant. But this definitely is an anime. It's another one of those animes that you want to wait for the arc to finish before you try watching it, just because, like, it's one of those puzzle. Like each episode is a puzzle piece, and you don't really get to enjoy the puzzle until you take a step back when it's finished. So if you're watching them episode by episode, you're like, oh, this is a cute puzzle piece. Oh, this is a cute puzzle piece. Oh, this is a cute puzzle piece. And then after it's all finished, you're like, let me watch them again. Oh my god, it was a cat. So that sums up my feeling for it. But it is legitimately a good show. Basically, if the arc is not finished on what you're watching, don't start watching it. Wait until it finishes. Conveniently, the way they name all of them is actually pretty helpful, because like enrollment part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, part 7, and then that's the first arc. Then they go 9 schools competition, part 1, part 2, that's how they do it. So you know when an arc is still going. It is a good anime though, so if you got the time, watch it. It's good in both Japanese and English. All right, Windbreaker. I really don't like its name. It just sounds like someone's ripping ass. But it actually has a logic for why it's called that. I don't know what it is, but they have a logic. All right. So, we're still on the follow-up after the end of them fighting the Sasurin, or whatever the name of that group was. And so there's not a lot of like major fighting going on. Yeah, there's not a lot of major fighting going on right now. What you do have instead is, what's the word I'm looking for? You have a lot of like build up to what the next major arc is going to be, and because of the way he stands out as a person, and then also his behavior during the tournament, Sakura is now being considered basically for class captain, class president, for lack of a better description. And he doesn't want to do it because he's like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not social enough to do it. And then he slowly he encounters like one of the higher ranking ones, one of the higher grade ones who's like, yeah, I'm the same as you. Like, he doesn't say it this way, but he's like, yeah, I'm the same as you. These guys believed I could do it, and he saw him delegating a lot of things. He's like, you're the one that's supposed to be doing this, and he started delegating it. He's like, no, and he eventually picks up on, that guy's really good at being social, and that guy's really good at other tasks. I'm good at this, and he basically is good at the same thing that Sakura is, which is the physical task of, because they were chasing a cat. Spoilers, chasing a cat, and he's just like, boom, gone. Of course, they did one thing that I did enjoy is like when he first starts talking, the guy the senior captain, whatever you want to call him, he's wearing headphones and he's sitting there screaming like he's pissed off, and then one of the other people, and he's like, wow, he's mad already, and they walk over, take the headphones off him, and he just starts talking normal. It's like, yeah, that sounds about right. I'm like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like, yeah, he's gonna go deaf, but no. This is a good anime for those who haven't heard already. You got your Gojo right here. Not literally, but it is voiced by Gojo, so everybody keeps calling him the Gojo. And he's also got the white hair and all that stuff, but anyway. Good anime. Alright, I think I missed talking about this one last week, but it's An Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride. Which, is weird as that sounds, it's actually really adorable. It's just really adorable. It's not like a harem anime or anything like that. It's just really cute. For those who don't know, he is he's originally just a sorcerer, but becomes an archdemon, which is the highest rank of sorcerer. And she is an elf slave who's being sold, and he buys her, spends all of his gold to buy her, and then he pretty much frees her, like, immediately. She's not a slave, but she still acts like it half the time. And it has the annoying, like, are they not in love? Like, they don't know how to express their love. They're too embarrassed to, because they're both socially awkward. They end up adopting her, which I'm not going to tell you who she is. I will tell you she's part dragon. In by part, I mean she's a dragon. And it's just really adorable. Like, there is some fighting in it, but it's a good anime. And then it just concluded with him repairing basically a magic music thing. It basically is just a record player, and it's once again, this is just wrapping up the first season, and it was good. I recommend it. Like, it's one of those you have to watch it. I can't just like break it down and tell you and you get the feel for it. It's definitely a journey, not destination. Moonlight Fantasy. I will talk about this anytime someone brings it up. I love this fucking anime. My only problem is it's almost done with this season. So we're on season 2, and episode 24 came out. So we finally got that rematch between Makoto and Sophia Bolga. But before that, we had to find out what was going on with Lancer and I forget his name right now. Not Sheen. Come on, I can do this. The guy who's a lich. because he's posing as a Lich right now. We're going to call him Larva, because that's what he's calling himself right now. And we had that fight going on. And you got to remember, the whole time since becoming a follower of Makoto, he's been training himself, especially physically, with the others, so that he would be able to pretty much, by the way, in case you're wondering, I'm talking about this guy right here, the guy with the red hair, to be able to properly serve Makoto. And he's still considered the weakest. Hey, Gothic. So anyway, so he's fighting Lancer, one of the top dragons. Lancer has the unique ability that if he kills you with one of his swords, or if he kills you, you turn into a sword for him. You literally turn into a weapon for him, and he gets more powerful from it. And that's kind of a big deal, because that's actually, you find out the deal he had with Sophia. If she died first, she would become a new weapon for him. If he died first, she'd get all of his power. And even though he is significantly less powerful than Lancer, he had planned out how to kill him very specifically. And it's one of those moments where I'm like, I really enjoyed it, because he won not because he was more powerful, because he's a lich, he's a wizard, he's a sorcerer, whatever you want to call him. He won because he was smarter. He thought it out, and I enjoyed it. And it wasn't the classic, what's his name from Bleach? This is all part of my Aizen. That's it. Like, they didn't do this. This is all according to my plan. No, they didn't do that shit. It's just like he had these individual steps he was doing along the way, and you see them. You can hear his internal dialogue of, okay, what he doesn't realize is his sword is full of curses and is slowly slowing him down. This, that, and the other. And it was really well done. It didn't make him this super powerful character who just destroyed a very powerful dragon. It was like, no, he had to have a plan, and he succeeded at it. And he does lament that at the end of it. He's like, with all the training and all the power I have, this is all I was able to do. Because I'll tell you right now, if Mio or Tomoe had been there, fight would have been over like that. Because Tomoe is the second most powerful living dragon. Like, not even subtle. For those who don't know, the two most powerful are Root and Root's dead wife, which he killed because he wanted to absorb her power. She's now the Dragon of Death, effectively. She's the one who helps beings move on to the other life. She's not the Dragon of Death like, oh, I'm evil. No, she's just on the other side helping beings pass on to the other world. And then because of that, Sheen is now the most powerful, and people forget to list her when they're talking. Sheen is their name before they became Tomoe. It's a good show. I highly recommend it. It's probably the best isekai. Followed by That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime. If you're okay with... That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime gets dropped down a lot on the list if you do not like world-building meeting episodes. I would put Jobless Reincarnation up there pretty high, but it has a lot of really perverted shit in it, especially like early in it, that makes it drop down on my list. So I do recommend watching it. But yeah, Tsukumichi, really good. I actually need to get back into reading the manga. I might actually start reading the manga over again. Hell, I might start collecting them again, because I do collect mangas. Right now I've got Solo Leveling Volume 1 and 2 right here, and I've got my Berserk over there, Volume 1, hardbound. Alright. Seventh Prince, this is the last episode of the season, and several things I gotta say about it. One, I'm still... Here's the thing I hate about this manga/anime. Here's the thing I fucking hate more than anything else, and how it feels like they sexualize their characters. And I would, like... Yes, I will admit, I wouldn't care if they were sexualizing the maid who is this adult woman. No, they seem to look like they're trying to sexualize the little kids in it. I'm not joking. And they have the veneer of, okay, the girl who's dancing damn near naked has poison that emits from her skin, and the only way to spread it is by her not wearing much clothes and dancing. Like, you just made that up. That's just a bullshit excuse to have a character, and then all the weird posing and the way he dresses, the main character dresses. That's the thing that pisses me off about it. Now, getting that out of the way, they do some really good moments here. The character's insanely OP, so there's like, at no point do you really feel he's in danger. He's more fucking around. Like, literally in the previous episode, there's a moment where he has like the magic barrier to protect him from magic attacks, and the enemy uses power word kill effectively, and because of it was just straight mana, not magic, it goes right through his barrier, and he sees it coming towards him, and he has the moment of, ooh, it went through, I don't know what it's gonna do. Let it hit me, don't. Let it, don't. Let it, don't. Let it, don't. because he wants to learn everything he can about magic. Um, in this one, by the way, the bad guy is this guy right here. Not going to explain all the details. But anyway, you have this epic moment, like where the previous one ends, where he's like doing his Genki Dama Spirit Bomb, where he's like, I've got all this magic energy and it's gonna blink you out of existence. And then he throws the Genki Dama, which Spirit Bomb, whatever you want to call it, and which literally is a void. It reduces everything to nothingness. And then you just see go bloop. And even he's like, what just happened? He's like, I threw the same thing back at you. Apparently, when you throw an emptiness of void at an emptiness of void, they just blink out of existence. So, if it wasn't for it has such a interesting way of telling its story and an interesting story behind it, I'd actually tell you don't watch this anime, just because of the things I bitched about at the beginning. But they still do a good job, and the animation on it is legitimately awesome. Like when he's casting his magic, legitimately well done. Like, if you see all the things I bitched about with Newgate, this is the exact opposite of it. This is on the other end of the spectrum. Alright, chilling in another world. We got the second to last episode of the season. It's a two-parter. We haven't seen the second part yet. But it's where they have the traditional anime hot spring episode. Yep. I think next season we get a beach episode. Anyway. But yeah, they go to the hot spring. Rias, the girl, she wins a group trip to go to a hot spring, and then without missing a beat, when she finds out it's not meant for 2 people, it's meant for a lot of people to go, she's like, "Can I trade this in for something else?" Because she just wants to spend time with her husband, and it doesn't work out that way, unfortunately. But yeah, they ended up going. They ended up like having a lot of fun. Like it's got a lot of weird twists to it. Somebody sent me a message. I want to make sure it's nothing important. Letting him know why I'm not answering him. Yeah, it's one of my friends who wants to play Borderlands 3. Where was I at? I was saying something. There was words that were coming out of my mouth. Do you remember what they were? Anyway, so they all end up having fun in like a lot of different ways. You get to see the former Demon Lord in his second in command. They're enjoying themselves. They actually look like they're having fun. They're happy. There's apparently like an adult museum, is the way it's referred to as, where both the Dijin and the archer girl, the stable archer girl, go to check it out. She's like super embarrassed, and the Dijin comes up right behind her. Is like, "Oh, we both wanted to check this out." She's like, "Yeah!" It's hilarious. The one thing I did enjoy is the barbarian chick, the super muscular girl. She's wearing the I forget the name of the robes, but she's got her sleeves rolled up. Like, yep, gotta have the guns out. Gotta see those biceps. Like, and she's not the only one who does it. Like, there's another character who shows up who does it too, and the new Demon Lord, who's the brother of the old Demon Lord, who's an asshole. He's there. Because apparently their army is getting their ass kicked repeatedly because they keep falling into traps, which it's not said, but I think it's because the old spy network loyal to the former Demon Lord is fucking with them. And so they're trying to have like a morale building exercise at the spa, and like they don't know how to behave around humans, so they're all assholes. They do one really good thing in there though. I wish I could show you guys it, but it would just black out on the screen. Is so the demons, when they're in the human town, have to pose as humans. And there was this one of the lieutenants or one of the generals or whatever who's like this 2-headed bird. When he turns into his human form, it just looks like a set of twins that are like have their arms over each other's shoulders. And I'm like, oh my god, that was fucking brilliant. That was goddamn brilliant. I love it. That was so smart. But yeah, this is a good anime, as I said before. We're about to get the last episode of the season, so if you were waiting for it to finish, I think the next one's supposed to be the last one. One thing that this anime does better than any others is it's not a harem anime. It sets it up like it's going to be. It's not. And 2, there actually is loving relationship between the 2 main characters. They're not like, oh, well, I'm too afraid to be around my partner, or maybe they don't actually love me. No. He ends up marrying her, like, halfway through the show. Spoilers. Alright, Remonster. Speaking of isekai with a harem anime. Yeah, he ends up with a harem. In case you didn't know, nothing I really wanted to cover about this episode. I don't think I talked about the last one. I don't really care to. Um, but basically, he finally delivers the tomboy princess to where she's supposed to be, and then they have a massive tournament among all the other members of Parabellum. Which, okay, for those who don't know, the reason why he calls it Parabellum is there's actually it's a Latin phrase of "Siccus pacus Parabellum." If you want peace, prepare for war. So he's naming it effectively "Prepare for War," which there's that fits with the naming context and everything. It really does. But there's that part of me and like that sounds like some emo kid wrote in high school. But anyway, so he has the tournament and all that good stuff, and you get to see some of his kids are actually growing up because he had those kids. Which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. They actually addressed something that I thought was really good. Is like throughout the series, he's seducing all these women. Like they get captured, and then some of them just fall in love with him. Some of them he uses pheromones to make them fall in love with him, which that's bullshit. But whatever, we're gonna ignore that detail. And so he actually ends up making a couple of them pregnant. The two humans that are giving birth to his kids, it starts killing them. Like because ogre babies grow so fast that they were just stealing the nutrients right out of their mom's bodies, and they were getting skinnier. So they actually addressed that. And I thought that was actually some kind of a big deal because a lot of animes wouldn't have brought that kind of thing up, and I did enjoy that. Anyway, and the kids are, because of how fast the kids grow up, except for the human kid, the other ones are actually old enough now that they're able to walk around, talk, and do things. Because he has a total of 4 kids. 2 of them are hybrids. One's basically a full ogre. The other one's a full human, effectively. But no, the anime is pretty good. I actually do enjoy it. I do recommend watching it if you get a chance. It's both good in English and Japanese. All right, and then let's see here. This is the last one of my catching up on this week. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. All right, they introduced at the end of the last episode a character who's not in this picture. I don't know if that means she's supposed to be temporary or it's a surprise because she shows up near the end of the season. But it's this woman right here, if you can see her. It's the one standing behind the main character on the far right picture. He looked at her with his appraisal skill, and she had higher stats than anyone he had ever seen. She was smarter. She was more ambitious. She had all these other skills that no one else had. But she's also like really weirdly lazy. She's constantly drunk and just doesn't want to. She wants to relax. That's her thing, and it was pissing everybody off. Pretty much the only one who doesn't have an issue with her is the magic user. Just doesn't care. She's like, all right, that's cool. And so basically, everyone came to the main character and said, "Hey, you need to get rid of her right now." And she goes, "Okay, how about this? We'll have a mock battle. You guys win, I'll leave, no question. I win, I stay." And the mock battle was basically them 3 versus Lord Ares, him, and her. And they stacked the deck against Lord Ares by having the most junior members of his military working with him. And the fight doesn't conclude, but it sets up like how many steps she thinks in, because she's very much about tricking her opponent, because you see her setting the stage for layers upon layers and layers of fuckery. And I do recommend it. This is a good. If you haven't already, the anime is really good. I do recommend it. She's also a very entertaining character. I do recognize I'd probably be annoyed as hell knowing her as a person, but it's a good anime. All right. Now for my anime I recommend you watch. This one has all of its episodes out of this season, and it's The Reign of the Seven Spellblades. I technically haven't watched the last episode 15, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to cry. I know what happens. Anyway, it's a really interesting concept where, so a lot of stories you'll have magic users and you have swords people. This is one of the few times I've seen it where swordsmanship and magic are combined into one, where every magic user does know how to use a sword to some degree, because as they say in there, they said there is a distance where casting a spell is impossible, so you might as well use a fucking sword. And the spell blades are unique magic that only like god tier unique magic that is passed down. That's not saying they're the 7 spell blades, for the record. And not only is the world itself really well done, the story is really good. It also has like this darker behind the scenes stuff going on. I can't tell you without ruining it. That is really good. You'll enjoy it, and it doesn't bat an eye at telling the darker side of using magic. I will tell you two characters. They're senior classmen in the story. One is a necromancer, and they don't make it a secret. He kills people to make his army of undead. And he's a student in the school. It's not a big deal to the school. They're like, yep, if it happened, it happened. He kills monsters to make it, and he will kill students who get lost in the labyrinth. He doesn't care, and it's perfectly acceptable within the school, because they believe that if you it's a learning experience for the students to know that there is a senior classman that if they're caught out late at night, he might kill them. Another one is a woman who's part succubus, and she doesn't summon demons. She technically gives birth to them. It's kind of awkward, but that's what she does. And that's all I'm going to say about that. There is also something they bring up in there. Alright, this is a spoiler for like halfway through the show. There is a character who is what's known as a reversee. They are a person who, a reversee in that world is somebody whose gender will flip back and forth. It could be based on moon cycle, it could be based on their chemical imbalances in their brain, it could be any reason. There is no set reason, but they are reversed. Their gender will flip back and forth between male and female. And depending on which form they're in, they get different advantages. When they're in their masculine side, they are physically stronger and more fit. On their female side, they have more mana. And it's actually explained why. I'm not going to go into that one. And the reason I'm bringing this up is not because of that story plot. And I do appreciate that they brought that up in the magical context, because, like, in a magical world, you would imagine something like that would be a thing. The reason I'm bringing it up is, of course, when that episode came up, I had to go read the comment section, and there are so many people like, this enemy was great until they brought in this transgender bullshit. And my thought was, this is not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. But no, it's a really good anime. The fight sequences are great. They have the random excuse to have like a Ronin samurai character in it, which actually works out great. But I do recommend it. This is a great anime. It's on Crunchyroll. It's got 15 episodes out. Give it a watch. Alright. Anything anime y'all want to talk about? Anything game related y'all want to talk about? Shadows of the Erd Tree's out. That's why I'm cutting this a little shorter than I'd like to, because I want to play Shadows of the Erd Tree. Ugh. Also, my friend's here. I want to go kick him in the shins. Going once. Going twice. No questions. Nothing I need to worry about. My cat's getting food. Alright. Well, I tried. Alright, don't forget, next week, same bat time, same bat place. Don't forget to watch some of my new videos that come out. You got none? Alright. I'll probably end up playing Elden Ring with you later anyway. And I'm getting yelled at for Borderlands 3, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, same bad time, same bad place. See y'all in the next one. I gotta actually be on the right computer to turn off this stream. Bye-bye.